Let me ask you this, Rasheed, before we get ready to wrap. What does the 1% mean to you?
The 1%, man, it means a quality of life.
Okay.
You know, so going to work every day,
Mm-hmm.
you can look at that being the 1%, but the 1% mindset is doing whatever you want. You know, having freedom.
Yeah.
That's the one. That's the real 1%. Is having the freedom.
Absolutely.
So going to work. That's your leisure. A lot of people like their jobs.
Yeah.
A lot of people like the 9 to 5.
Yeah.
They like going into the office, man. I've dealt with countless of customers that I deal with, man. They have money upon money, but it's just something about them going into work, seeing their coworkers, they're cool, and they're at that top. I got a couple of guys where this one guy I know he has property in St. Thomas.
Okay.
He literally has 7 villas overlooking the water. He has a property down here that I help him manage in America, which he stays in, but he only stays in that property maybe a week or two, like vacationing when we go.
Yeah.
He actually lives over there, and he conducts his business. He still works for the company in America, but he works remotely. So you can look at that as the 1%.
Yeah.
Because he still works.
Yeah.
Has a plethora of investments and money that he deals with, but he just like his freedom.
Yeah.
He don't have to go into the office.
Yeah.
And he was doing this before the virtual everything happened.
Yeah.
This was his lifestyle before the 19. He was already doing this. So, like I said, the 1% is that quality of life, that freedom that you have.
Absolutely.
And that's where a lot of people are trying to research or get to that point. And that's my whole thing too, because I like working my hands. I like the freedom of, if I want to leave this job, I got something to fall back on.
Yeah.
I never have an issue with, leaving a job. To the point, I can honestly say I've never been fired from a job. Every job I left that job either before I got fired, anything, nothing like that. But the point of it is, I never really got fired from a job.
Yeah.
There's only one job that I actually lost is because they moved the company. And I didn't want to take the plunge to move to Texas. So I was like, I was good. I'm just going to stay here and find another job. But other than that, man, good work ethic pays off, man. A lot of companies, they're kind of steering away from that longevity in employees.
Yeah. Absolutely.
You look at the fact of the matter is you have an employee 10, 15 years, tenure. Man, that was always something back in the day. But now, man, you looking at that, people are moving, 3 to 5 years. That's how you keep up with inflation, and everybody don't have that conversation, so they don't know.
Yeah.
So when it comes down to it, that tenure staying at a company for 15 years, you'll have somebody within the next 8 years come in and make more money than you. Yeah, especially if you're not in a supervisor position, you're just in a regular salary, because employees don't talk to each other about salaries. They don't talk to each other about money. They, it's like a taboo thing. They don't want to let others know how much money they make.
Right.
So they're more gained on, man, I'm just making this money, I'm balling. Till another guy comes in and make the same money, you find out, oh, you horrified. That's why I say it's like nowadays, the whole game, if you're not making the money at work, there's all these apps. You can go on, make money. If you don't want anybody driving in your car, you can deliver food. If you don't want to deliver food, you can deliver medical supplies. You can pick up paperwork.
Yeah.
DoorDash has it where you can deliver. One of my friends, he picked up a laptop on Uber and dropped it off at a hotel for somebody because they left it at home. Just stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's always a ways to being safe, especially for the ladies out there working, being safe and understanding, your environment. But there's ways of making money,
right.
So far as what family-wise, hey, if you want to get to that 1%, you work hard now and then it pays off in the future.
There you go.